The title of this document is Christianity, a Journey from Fact to Fiction. It is written, he wrote this document under the main heading or main subject heading, the evolution of Christianity. Now, as I told you in the beginning, I had never thought anything about that or heard anything about it, but it was impressed on me that that's what I should be talking to you today. The evolution of the Church of Jesus Christ. After reading this document, woven throughout its pages are hints of the promotion of the Islamic faith, while exposing the so-called faults of Christianity. Though the author soundly denies that it is his motive. Let me share just a few of his statements. It is too lengthy to read the whole thing. But I want to share you just some of the topics that he talks about. But if anybody wants to read it, I've got a copy here that I made. And it is quite lengthy on one page. I think there's 5 pages. But I have it in my computer, so if anybody wants it, you're welcome to have my copy. To look at it more thoroughly than what I could possibly share with you in this hour. But let me share just a few highlights that I picked out of his writing. Concerning the Trinity or the Godhead. The doctrine, this is his words, the doctrine of Trinity, which is one of the fundamental constituents of Christian dogma, was absent from Christianity during the lifetime of Jesus Christ. It was greatly influenced by the myths and the traditions of various lands which hosted Christianity in its early period. Now he goes on and goes through this to a great extent, but a lot of things that just don't make sense. One of the things that he promoted or stated was that it was Paul who was responsible for establishing the theory of the Trinity or the Godhead, not the other disciples. And since Paul had never had contact with Jesus, he had no reason to do this except ulterior motives. The crucifixion. Now this is a good one. Jesus' influence remained. No, Jewish influence remained. Now he's talking about the time that Jesus was teaching. And after he left, the Jewish influence still remained. The disciples of Jesus who learned, I don't think that's a word, learned. That's what he has written. I think it should have been learned. He says the disciples of Jesus learned and understood Christianity directly from Jesus and witnessed it in the form of his life belonging to this thought. It was they who witnessed the crucifixion, and we know that, we agree with that statement, and had seen, now listen to the way he puts this, and had seen Jesus survive from his attempted murder. Does that sound right? Evidently, he hadn't read the story of the crucifixion, at least not thoroughly, but twisted them to say that Jesus never really died. He was murdered or attempted to be murdered, but he survived. Then he goes on to say, It was his life of suffering and pain and redeemed humanity and made him conquer death. If he had accepted, listen to these words. I was taken back when I read it, but listen to this. If he had accepted death voluntarily, it would have been tantamount to an attempt to escape his state of suffering. How can one conceive this to be an act of bravery? You hear that? How many young men and women died and were called brave, doing their duty in the services, and they died for their companion or died because it was their duty to do so? But even the act of those who commit suicide under extreme pressure is taken to be a mere act of cowardice. To share suffering in life is far better than to escape suffering through death. Hence, the concept of the supreme sacrifice of Jesus by accepting death for the sake of humanity is hollow sentimentality with no substance in it. He conquered death not by surrendering himself to death, but by refusing to bow down to it. That is how we see Jesus, and that is why we love him. The apostles and followers of Jesus had seen Jesus survive from his attempted murder. He just survived from that murder, that crucifixion. Evidently, this author failed to read the scriptures describing the events that were taking place, up and including the including the crucifixion. And you all have heard this story at Easter time over and over again, but let me share this with you. Jesus survived from his attempted murder. Now, what went on? Before Jesus was crucified and he was taken before Pilate, he had been beaten with a whip of many thongs. And the end of each thong had barbed ends on it. And as they beat him with these thongs, the blood gushed out of his body. Then he placed a crown of thorns on his head with long, sharp, barbed thorns. And as it pierced his skull, the blood ran down his face. Then he was given the cross to carry up to Calvary. And all during this time, the blood was running. He was weakened by all the condition that had been placed upon his body. And he couldn't carry his cross. Someone had to carry it for him. They took him to the mount, they laid him on the cross, and they pierced his hands and his feet with big spikes. Again, the blood flowed. Can you imagine it? They put him on the cross, and because of his weakened condition, he wasn't able to support himself with his feet, to any extent at least, even though he had to try to relieve his arms in order that he could breathe. I guess the soldiers got tired waiting for him to die. So finally they pierced his side with a spear, and the little remaining blood that he still retained in his body gushed out along with the water, and he gave up the ghost. And this man says, Jesus survived from his attempted murder. Let's move on. Jesus the prophet. This is the words of this man. His voice was the voice of God and not the voice of his own ambitions. He said what he was commissioned to say, neither more nor less than what God had told him to say. We believe in the continuity and universality of religions, plural. This is why Islam lays such emphasis on the institution of prophethood as a universal phenomenon, which means that prophets have to be accepted in their totality. Rejection of one out of the community of prophets would be tantamount to rejection of all, because in fact, one bows to the prophets only in view of their hailing from the same source. We believe in now listen to this. We believe in the progressiveness of the message, advancing in step with general human progress in all the spheres of human activity. Sound familiar? Evolution of Christianity. Much of what this author has to say has a ring of familiarity. It makes a connection between Jesus as a prophet and a long line of prophets from Adam and continuing through Muhammad. He fails to carry this line to the present time. Where is the Islamic prophet of today? I wonder if he would recognize and give as much honor to the latter-day prophet Joseph Smith, and if he is even familiar with the Latter-day Saint philosophy. Too bad he doesn't have access to the inspired version where the prophet Isaiah speaks that God does not change. In Isaiah 29 and 25, in the inspired version, it's not in the King James Version, probably not in many of the 50 plus Bibles being circulated today. But this is the words. For behold, I am God, and I am a God of miracles, and I will show unto the world that I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. And I work not among the children of men, save it be according to their faith. Paul's letter to the Hebrews also confirms this, both in the inspired version and the King James Version. In Hebrews 13, 7-9, remember, them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of God, Jesus Christ the same yesterday, and today, and forever. Be not carried about with divers and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace. The writer refers to Paul as the enemy. He quoted the parable of the wheat and tares to prove it. He claims that Jesus was referring to the Apostle Paul in this parable. In Matthew 13 and 24 to 29, I want to share the parable with you so you know what I'm talking about. The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servant of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? Whence then hath it tares? He said unto him, An enemy hath done this. And the servants and said unto him, Wilt thou then shall we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let them grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the wheat into my barn, and its tares are bound in bundles to be burned. Does this enemy that the Lord was talking about sound like the Apostle Paul? That's what this writer would have us believe. That the Apostle Paul placed in the gospel these false teachings, and compared to the parable, they come up as tares with the wheat, or the good doctrine that was there that Jesus had promoted. Does this enemy sound like the Apostle Paul? Or who do you think that the Lord was describing as the enemy? I venture to say that he was talking about the devil himself. He's the one who instills in the thoughts of men and in many of their writings these false promises and false data. He's the one who fits the picture that the Lord was trying to paint in this parable. We don't have time to explore this further, but what we have looked at, I fail to see any connection in the evolution of the Christian religion through Muhammad leading to Islam. But there certainly is through the prophet Joseph Smith Jr. and the restoration of the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. You see, this man was trying to remove the idea that Jesus was the prophet, and he opened a door to Islam through the prophet Muhammad. And that was the continuation of the Christian church, Islam religion. We must hold fast to Isaiah's prophecy. For behold, I am God, and I am a God of miracles, and I will show unto the world that I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. And I work not among the children of men, save it be according to their faith. If the Lord agreed with this author and this document, he certainly would not have revealed the Book of Mormon, nor instructed the writer of the inspired version of the Bible. It would have defeated his whole purpose. In order to emerge as victors in this war with Satan and his battle plan to attack us on every side of our life, we should be constantly praising and thanking our Heavenly Father in our prayers for this wonderful and priceless gift of spiritual enlightenment. We must be extremely careful to examine the words put forth by the cunning craftiness of men. Their words may feel and sound good to the ears. But we must be careful to search them through the spiritual enlightenment that our Heavenly Father gives us in order to combat this kind of situation. I don't know if I covered this subject as thoroughly as I would like to, but I knew that I didn't have time to go any further. Hopefully, we all receive something from what I had to say. I've chosen hymn number 191 for our closing. So you might want to turn to that and stand for the closing.
Could we rise and singing this hymn, please? 191. Breathe on me, breath of God, fill me with life anew, that I may love what thou dost love, and do what thou wouldst do. Breathe on me, breath of God, until my heart is pure, until with thee I will, one will, to do and to endure. Breathe on me, breath of God, till I am wholly thine, till all this earthly part of me glows with thy fire divine. Breathe on me, breath of God, so shall I never die, but live with thee the perfect life of thine eternity. Father in heaven, we do thank you for the message our brother has shared with us. You think us much to think about, Father, to examine our faith and those things which we know to be true. Help us, Father, as we would continue to worship, as we would continue to study, as we would continue to learn, that we may be drawn closer unto thee, Father, closer to thy Son, Jesus Christ, receiving of him all the spiritual blessings, including that light which we seek. Bless us then, Father, as we would depart from this place. Go with us, Father, that we may always be caught doing thy will, Father, praising thy name, and giving thee the glory for all things. And for this, Father, we give thee thanks and praise. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.